Best price on the Boulevard in Hopkinsville.
Hayes Furniture, always the best.
Let's face it, with busy work schedules and the daily demands of family life, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the yard. And in fall time, those outdoor chores can really mount up. At Lawn Cutters, they have the power equipment you need to get them done fast. Power equipment should match your task at hand. And at Lawn Cutters, they will help pair you perfectly, from blowers and chainsaws to weed eaters and chippers. Stop by their massive showroom on Skyline Drive in Hopkinsville, and be sure to follow them on Facebook.
Lawn Cutters, still running.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey, it's Tess. Join WPKY at Food Giant this Thursday from 3 to 5 for the official 2020 WPKY Turkey Bowling Tournament. Join us as we congratulate this year's star athletes, Sue Ann Loney, Glenn Young, and Kathy Towery. Don't miss the action as our bowlers fling frozen turkeys at real bowling pins thanks to Northfield Family Bowling Center in Princeton. You could even snag some loot for yourself. It's the WPKY 2020 Turkey Bowling Tournament from Food Giant and 1580 103.3 WPKY. 1580 103.3 WPKY. And of course, we try to start off our coffee talk every day. As long as my computer and everything will actually play along nice with me this morning. But especially on our Veterans Day, how can you not start off coffee talk without the Pledge of Allegiance? And we sure do appreciate from all of us and our family at Edge Media Group and WPKY to all the veterans. We definitely want to say thank you for your service and happy Veterans Day. And of course, everybody get up. Let's go. Pledge of Allegiance time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless their hearts. If you would like your child to kick us off and start us off with the pledge, all you have to do is leave that on our answering machine and they can be our star for the day. Here's our number, 270-963-9155, and just leave it on the answering machine. And I've got a couple of guys in here that I bet know something about all of that. We've got, today's Wednesday, so that's Extension Office Day, and today's Shane Bogle.
Good morning.
How are you? Who'd you bring with you this morning?
It's amazing what you can just find on the side of the road these days.
He's a pretty important one that you found out there, though.
Well, we brought somebody from our Caldwell Line Cattlemen's Association that's got some very important information for not just the adult farmers of the county, but some young farmers in the county.
That's right.
So, Jeff?
Mr. Jeff Boone, how are you?
Doing good, Tess. Good to be with you this morning. Appreciate everything the radio station does for the community, for the fiscal court, as well as the extension, as well as the cattlemen's. Wear a lot of hats. Y'all do a whole lot for the religious community as well, and appreciate each and everything that WAVJ does each and every way for us.
Well, I'll tell you, I will say that the Cattlemen's Association, when Shane was in here the other day, when we were talking about opening it up even with the youth and that sort of thing, that's really huge. I mean, the Cattlemen's Association is really expanding, what they already provided and then expanding even more.
If we don't start investing in the youth of the community, the youth are going to be gone.
We have a tendency to grow up, don't they?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
But then they become Shane Bogles and Jeff Boones, so it all works out.
60 years ago, I was a kid.
Well, I don't know about that. Hey, I'll tell you. Now, what's going on with the programs? And I guess let's start with the one that we're all familiar with, which would be the adult program and the one that we're always talking about.
Okay, on December 1st and December 3rd, we're having two publicity meetings for the adult CAIP. These meetings will be held in the large courtroom at the courthouse at 6 o'clock. We wasn't able to get any other locations, so that's what we ended up with. But it's not mandatory that the adults attend this meeting. But we'll be going line by line, how to fill the application out. What I heard quite a bit 2 years ago, the first time I dealt with the cattlemen's in the CAIP cost share was well, these questions don't make any sense. These questions don't make any sense. And I'm kind of a literal person. So we just had 2 public meetings. We went line by line. This is the way you need to answer this question. This is what this question means. This government jargon is normal for the ones of us who have raised up in it, but the ones who are not used to fooling with it, it makes no sense. Just like income tax. People are scared to death of it.
Anytime that there's legal jargon, I need help.
And there is a direct correlation to these meetings. You know, you can still get an application, you can still turn it in, you can still get a cost share, but there's a direct correlation to filling this out correctly and getting funded. Those that go to that meeting have a much greater chance of getting funded, because if you miss 1 or 2 little things on that application that we're telling you in this meeting, it's free to come, doesn't cost anything, we're doing it for you. But those that don't come, we can tell when we start scoring those applications when they come in, we say, they didn't come to that meeting.
I started to say, I know a lot of us say, oh, well, I can just fudge a couple. They won't know the difference. Yes, you do. I mean, there's a huge difference in the way I would probably fill something out and let's say the way Jeff would, walk me through filling that out.
Yeah, and if you happen to miss a question, you don't get any points. You automatically get a 0, and this is a point ranking system. The points determination system is determined by the people in Frankfurt at the Ag Development Foundation and Ag Development Fund, and it's not something the county Cattlemen came up with, but each question is weighted with points. We go down through scoring. I've got a scoring committee coming in out of Lyon County. Don't want any question about there being any favoritism whatsoever. So we've got 3 friends in Lyon County that are coming to help us score those. But as we go down through the question and answer, according to how you answered, we'll score those. And if you happen to miss a question, you can't go back later and fill it in, and you automatically lose those points.
That's some pressure on some homework, huh?
Well,
let's hope I do better with my adult homework than I did my
well, the same thing would happen on your tax form if you did that for IRS. There would be consequences for that, and it's the same for this. It's relatively not. It's really not that bad of an application. It's really not that bad of a process, but you do have to spend a little time and learn it.
Most of it's just a little bit of common sense, but what we encourage you to do is we pass applications out, go through our spiel, then we go line by line and encourage you to fill them out right then.
99% of the people that come to those 2 meetings in the past turn their applications in that day. So, Jeff, I think it's on the back of that sheet of the deadline to turn those in after. That's also an important thing because we're going to be coming up on the holidays as this is starting. So those need to be in. What is that date, Jeff?
December 18th of 2020 at the Extension office, turned in by 4:30, close of business that day. And we've all got problems. We've all got things that come up to last minute. But if you come in the next morning with it, it's going to be too late. We've got to have a cutoff.
Wow, that's right around the corner, too.
That is the last day that the Extension office will be open for the year, is the 18th. So there won't be anybody there to accept those applications if they do come in late.
Oh, wow.
And we're not trying to be hard. We're just trying to level the playing field. We've got rules we've got to play by and trying to get the rules out there so everybody understands.
Well,
we're here
to
help
have
however we can.
Yeah.
And that's still a 3-week window to get those completed and turned in.
Yes, yeah. So. 2 years ago, we did this in January, but it just worked out to go ahead and do it in December before the holidays this time instead of after. So, it's the biggest thing. December 1st, December 3rd, the publicity meeting at 6 o'clock at the courthouse, a large meeting room. You got to have the application completed and turned in December 18th at 4:30. Most everybody's got my phone number. I don't care to give it out. Anybody's got any questions, they can get a hold of me at 270-963-0200, and I'll help them any way I can. Shane and his staff, excellent to help. Shane's been at this for quite a while. I jumped in the water with him after I retired from the FSA office, but it's just deadlines and questions.
Well, and again, I think that's a good thing that, you've been around for a minute. If you just got, when you talk about that kind of thing, if you're not and you're new to this, I mean, this can be something that definitely you'd appreciate a little, somebody like you and Shane that's done it a time or two.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming when you pick it up and look at it, it can be overwhelming.
And also to host this, the Caldwell Cattlemen's Association, this is out of the goodness of their heart and their support to the community, because this is the legalities of this and the record keeping of this is not just, hey, we'll just host this money. Right. We'll distribute it. There's you've got banking records, you've got legalities. You're signing a binding legal contract with the state of Kentucky. So I really appreciate the Caldwell Line Cattlemen Association and their leadership for making sure that this gets done in the community.
You know what? We should have probably started in the very beginning explaining what that CAIP means. I mean, what does that mean for farmers in the area?
County Agricultural Improvement Program. This is funding that was left over as a result of the tobacco buyout. The first phase started back around 96 or 97. I think it was implemented in 98. The second phase came in 2005 when the government buyout of the tobacco bases finally finished up. This money was set up, paid in by the tobacco companies to each state based on the percent of the total type of tobacco that county or that state produced. Then it's divided county by county according to what percent of the burley, what percent of the dark air, what percent of the dark fire and, that each county had in Kentucky. And that's the way the big pot of money is derived. But the theory behind this was to put some funding in place to help farmers transition out of the tobacco world into greenhouses, into expanding their cattle operation, into technology. When tobacco buyout happened in 2005, there were a few farmers running the auto steer and those type things. The majority of the farmers now have got some type of auto steer or whatever. That is one category. Fencing is a category. Improving your forage and your grain is another category. Large animal, buying a good bull. When this program started, it was known as the Bull Program, and it wasn't because it was ran by people that were full of bull. It wasn't because it was ran by a bunch of people that were all about bulls, but your bull is the biggest part of your herd, and you can buy a good bull, you can buy 20 good cows. So they put the original intent was to put the money behind purchasing better bull to improve your genetics, to improve your calf crop, and it's morphed into a more diversified program. There's 8 categories total. No, there's 11 categories total. And some of the categories are eligible for a maximum cost share of $2,500 per person, per household. A husband can sign up, or a wife can sign up, but the husband and wife cannot sign up and double it and get $5,000 like you can in a lot of programs. But some of the categories are limited to a total cost share of $2,500. Some are limited to $1,250. The way the program works, you spend the money, you turn the receipts in, and we'll refund 50% up to a maximum of $2,500. One big change this year over anything that's been in the past. This year, not only do you have to turn tickets in showing what you bought, how you spent the money, but you've got to bring a canceled check or a proof that you have actually paid. I can't just shuck and jive the system and say, well, I paid Shane Bogel $5,000 for a bull and just write something out, that's it, and then get my $2,500 and walk away and give Shane half of it, me take half of it. Not that that's ever happened here.
Well, that'd be a good deal, though, wouldn't it?
Well, kind of odd that a preacher's mind would go somewhere like that, right?
I'm just saying,
you work for the government, too. So.
But, there's more accountability in these programs. The further we get into it, we've got to be more responsible with the taxpayer's dollar. I mean, that's what people are expecting out of Washington, out of Frankfort, out of the courthouse, out of City Hall. And Greg George was very instrumental in implementing this. He had kinfolk that was big in the governor's office when it all started, Keith Rogers. Keith and I go back a long way to 4-H, and so Greg found out about it and brought it to the county, and a lot of producers in this county have been able to benefit a lot by the program. And Shane was excellent. The extension office could walk away and say, no, we haven't got anything to do with it, because legally Shane can't do the paperwork, Shane can't do the bookkeeping, Shane can't do the record keeping, Shane can't do the scoring, but out of the goodness of his heart and the staff there, they're so good to help. But
well, and to be honest, when you talk about taking care of those funds and not, just throwing them around as much, but that's why you can extend this now into other areas, is because the money's been taken care of.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
And the state of Kentucky is the only state receiving those settlement funds that have reinvested theirs back in agriculture.
Yeah.
All the other states went to their general fund and went in other projects, and Kentucky all these years have put half of that fund direct back into the producer's pocket through these cost share programs.
I think when you look around, though, you can see that money working in the state of Kentucky. I mean, you know, when you see our agriculture production, whether it's livestock or you get into horticulture or whatever side you're going with, I think you can see it working in the area. I really do.
A lot of good fences been built. A lot of good bulls been bought.
Hay
barns. A lot of good hay barns, feed barns have been bought, been built. Pastures are looking a lot better. And the farming is not just a pastime like a lot of people think it is. It's a lot of work, and it's you got to stay on top of it with not only the hybrids in the cattle, but the hybrids in the seed.
Well, I know they used to call them hobby farms. I don't even know if a hobby farm's a hobby farm anymore. I mean, there's just so much to it that really and truly that's a lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. And the Cattlemen's Association has been great here. Even though it's Caldwell line together, they've embraced this program. Like I said, Greg brought it back here, and the Cattlemen's were great to sponsor it because there has got to be a pass-through entity. It cannot be the extension. Conservation districts in some counties do it, but mostly it's through the Cattlemen's. And there's a direct correlation between the cattleman and the farmer, more grassroots than there is even through the conservation district. Conservation district has so many other activities and programs that don't tie into this, and their boat's already loaded.
Well, and I know that, like the Extension Office, and I know you've had so many trainings this year and different programs, and I guess a lot of it was virtual. What it has to do with the pasture and hay production and just all kinds of tutorials and videos on that kind of stuff this year. And I know that a lot of that would have been in person if you could. But, you know, those classes, I mean, how does that feed into, you know, what you're doing? I mean, how helpful is that?
Well, that's what we were afraid we were going to end up with virtual on this. Shane and I were talking one day last week. It looked like this is going to be virtual. And I'm a face-to-face person. People have been aggravating me most of my life, but Shane learned this early on when we started working together. I'm going to look you eye to eye when I deal with you. I'm not going to look at you through a computer screen. And Shane is much the same way. And people just get so much more out of that personal interaction.
Well, I think we would also limit the number of participants also, because we have some that are just not going to go to a computer screen, don't have that ability. I can think of several that do not have the ability to go before a computer screen. So we were very adamant that this was going to be a face-to-face and got a location big enough that we can social distance and do everything. And, of course, this is at the courthouse, and masks do need to be a reminder of social distancing for both of those meetings, so wear a mask if you come to the courthouse for those meetings.
Well, and I think that's important too. Like my dad probably wouldn't do something virtually.
No.
I mean, there's some of us that again are very much like, you know, Jeff said that, you know, we want to do things face to face.
Yes. Yeah, we've got some that are not tech savvy. We've got some that don't have the internet capability, and you know, so it's just do it face to face and be done with it. But like Shane said. Every time we walk into the courthouse dealing with anything court business, we wear masks through the physical court meetings, and we just got to be respectful one to another.
The biggest thing I think I'm excited about this year is getting into that youth program. That when he came in and said that the other day, I thought it was going to explode. I mean, I think that is huge.
Well, this is relatively new. It's 4 or 5 years that it's been statewide. When this all started, you know, in the early 2000s with these cost share programs. So 2003 or 4, somewhere along in there. And it's taken all this time to kind of pass that back to this youth agriculture incentive program.
Well, again, if you take care of the budget and you take care of the money, this is where the money can go.
And the Cattlemen's Association brought this up on their own and started throwing this around probably a year ago. And it was talked about in every meeting of the benefits of this and supporting our youth. And we decided to run it concurrently. The Cattlemen's put some money of that regular Phase 1 money aside for this and decided to run it concurrently. So, Jeff, if you want to talk a little bit about this program.
The Cattlemen were very thinking outside the box, which is what we've got to do. They have got a total budget for this, decided to put roughly 10% in a special fund for the youth. Wasn't what Shane had promoted, wasn't anything I had come up with. Of course, I wasn't that familiar with it, but the Cattlemen themselves said, you know, we need to invest back in the youth, and there are quite a few things the youth can do with this to buy breeding stocks they want to start in the cattle, hog business, sheep, goat business. If they're showing cattle, different ones here in the county, Kevin Laurent was very, very instrumental back when our daughter was judging livestock and got different ones into showing pigs. Back in my day, we showed steers and heifers. They're showing pigs now, but they can use this money to buy show stock. They can use the money to buy what they need, the grooming chutes, the different grooming materials that they need for showing. But it's got a maximum of $1,500 per person per youth up to age 18. We'll have a publicity meeting November 30th at 6 o'clock at the courthouse at the large courtroom for the youth program. We request that the youth bring a parent with them because the parent's going to have to sign off on the application as well, since we cannot legally enter into a legal binding contract with anyone under age 18. But eligible cost share is 50-50 for the youth, just like it is the adults. Have to turn the tickets in, the proof of purchase. Applicants must be a resident of Caldwell County for either program, but the youth have to be a resident of Caldwell County. The age variation, the age range is 9 years old to 18-year-old. Like Shane said, they'll need to wear a mask at that meeting as well, them and the parents. But there's opportunity to invest in our youth and try to encourage them to stay here. We've got a lot of brilliant youth come out of this school system. They go somewhere else to find a job. I'd love for my children to stay here, but the opportunities are not here. But the Cattlemen are thinking outside the box and trying to invest in the youth and get them to stay close to Princeton.
I'll tell you, if you're just joining us, of course, we're talking to Caldwell County Extension Office, Mr. Shane Bogel, and then we've also got Magistrate Jeff Boone with us today. And I'll tell you, he's from the Cattlemen's Association today, though. That's what we're talking about. And when we're talking about the youth program, I think Caldwell County, again, when you talk about ag, these kids are doing it. They're not just talking about it, they're doing it. And we have got some really talented kids, but it is so expensive, even when you're a kid, to get into some of these things. A lot of times, it's one thing, Dad, do you have one of those? Because I don't have one of those, and it's just the tools and the tricks of the trade sometimes can be really kind of, more than what some people can afford. They could afford the animal, but not necessarily the tools they need to go along with it.
And that's exactly what this is for, is to possibly get that one person or several persons that are that close to being able to do it, the incentive and the capability to go ahead with that. Now, there is some eligibility things here. It's important. Please come to this meeting on the 30th there at the courthouse. We're going to do the exact same thing through this youth program as we are doing with the adult CAIP. This is not available for Cloverbud ages. 4-H is also Cloverbud's 4 to 8, so that age group is not eligible. There will be some mentorship required by either agents or our FFA staff or a 4-H agent to help mentor this child in whatever program that they're going to do. Applicants should complete one of the following. They're going to have to make a presentation to their peers in some form or other. And we're still kind of throwing around what an idea that might be is, of thanking the Cattlemen's Association, maybe schedule them to come so many at a Cattlemen's Association meeting and tell what they got from that program.
Hey, we'd love to hear them here too.
Or maybe
so you can put us on that list. I started to say, bring them to me.
Yes, depending on how many we actually will have for this, that definitely could be doable.
Well, and I saw on here one of the things, fencing and on-farm water.
Yep.
Wow, that's a big one. When you're talking about
more.
Something expensive right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the rotational grazing mandates the water at every field, and you've got to manage your resources.
I'm going to tell you what, now that right there alone can be a logistical nightmare.
Yes. Yeah, I just put a watering system in where we're at, and you can spend $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 before you know it. Not much of nothing.
Well, and without that's a whole lot of 5-gallon buckets in February, and everybody knows.
Yeah,
but
breaking ice.
What are they? When they leapfrog out of this program, are they immediately eligible for the other? Is there a gap? What is that going to look like?
No, once they hit age 18, then they're full eligible for the adult CAIP. That's the only way I know to look at now is the youth CAIP and the adult CAIP.
Right, and there's a couple of these other programs that the Governor's Office of Ag Policy administers with this Phase 1 money that's not direct from the county, and applicants are limited to participation in one program. So if they are in CAIP, they can't be in this, or if they are in this, they can't be the other. We also have a big beginning farmer program that operates out of that state office that if we've got some young folks in this county that's part of that.
Yes.
They are not eligible for this if they are, so that'd be what we call double dipping in things, and that's not allowed.
Not what this is built for.
That's correct.
In other words.
Yes.
Okay.
This is, if you will, it's seed money to help them start. One family may be able to help their children. The next family may be kind of struggling. Difficult times we're in right now, but it's outside seed money to help them. Plus, one thing I was raised up and taught early on, if you invest your own money, you put your own sweat equity into it, you appreciate a whole lot more.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's something that when I was little, that's one thing that my dad did, for me, is get me started with a bottle calf when I was little. And that taught me so much, being in the middle of that. And I think later on, there's lessons that were learned from that.
Yes.
But man, I bet he would have loved this program. That would have helped right there.
Yeah.
Because, it's the little things and the little expenses that really do add up and can keep some kids from being able to really and truly get into that.
Yes, yeah. But I appreciate the Cattlemen researching this incentive grant program for the youth and thinking outside the box and bringing it before the committee, because they see the need to invest back in the youth of the community.
Well, I think it's cool when, you're involving our FFA teachers, too. Mm-hmm. And that is right there on the sheet when it says FFA teacher. I think that's pretty cool because, we've got some really good ones here.
We got excellent FFA teachers here, had excellent ones when I was in high school. Going back to the youth having to make a presentation, that's one thing I try to stress with our children. I learned my speaking through 4-H, mastered it a little bit better through FFA. Doesn't bother me to go up to a brick wall and start talking, never has. But the FFA, the 4-H are both great in getting you out of your comfort zone. We've got to deal with people the rest of our life face to face, and they've got to learn how to do it. And the FFA and the 4-H are both great programs to bring that into the forefront. And we're fortunate here to have an excellent 4-H agent, excellent here to have excellent FFA advisors.
And I will say, I was thinking about Hannah York. Of course,
yes.
We've got kids from Caldwell County FFA that are now on the national level
yes.
As far as what they're accomplishing,
yes.
and that's huge.
Yes. Yeah, we different ones here have went very far in the last few years. We've had quite a few American Farmer degree candidates. Used to be a picture of them on the wall at the old Pizza Hut. A lot of them got their start in 4-H. Some of them didn't get their start till FFA, but the advisors instill a lot in those children, and it brings the drive out in a lot of them, and you can go as far as you want to go if you're willing to hook up and do it. Hannah York, prime example. Colton George, prime example. Not patting either one of them on the back, but they're just the names come to my mind.
It was just the one that popped in my head. I was
Yes.
probably thinking of her dad, Wes.
Yeah, Wes.
That's where I got there. But you know what? Those ag departments up there, Megan and Wes both do an amazing job, and we thank them for that.
Yes.
Because that's what fills Caldwell County and the surrounding area with farms that are not only making it, but they're thriving in the middle of all of it.
Yeah.
So the 4-H newsletter went out today. It will be in the hands of students at the school systems today.
Good.
Was when they're delivered. So every teacher will have this information, especially from the elementary, middle school, and high school. So the November the 30th, important. Bring a parent with you to that meeting at courthouse.
Okay, so that's for the youth program. Remind us of the dates again for the regular.
November 30th for the youth at 6 o'clock in the large courtroom in the courthouse. Come in the front door, up the steps in the front door. December 1st, December 3rd. This will be a Tuesday and a Thursday meeting at the courthouse those nights at 6 o'clock in the courtroom upstairs. And can't stress enough, please wear a mask when you come.
Well, thank you so much. When Shane said he was bringing it, I was like, yes, this is going to be. I've been looking forward to it. It's something that I know probably most people don't look forward to filling out the forms and that sort of thing. But you know what? They look forward to those benefits.
And we take a lot of the guesswork out at those meetings of filling out that application. So use that benefit. Jeff don't have to do that. We really don't have to have these educational upfront meetings, but it's just in our best interest. for the folks that are going through and scoring those. Can you see some of the wild things that folks can come up with? But if we're going through it line per line, come out. It's free.
Well, in the Cattlemen's Association, between everything that's been going on in the community and with pandemics and everything else, the farms and the livestock producers have really needed that help this year. That's one thing that the Cattlemen's Association, I would say, has been just really important to the farmers this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of lobbying. What a lot of people didn't realize when they went to the grocery, wherever they normally get their food, they went and the beef wasn't on the shelf. Well, the National Beef Cattle Association has lobbied at the Frankfort at the local level. They have lobbied because a lot of people don't realize there's just one or two packing companies that control the whole thing. They used to call that monopoly when I was a kid. They call it business now. But our Attorney General, our Secretary of Ag, got in that legal fight and trying to get some packing houses back here. When I was a young person, a lot younger, 40 years ago, there were a lot of packing houses this side of the Mississippi. They're not there anymore. Most of them are out where the feedlots have gone. Everything's went from here out west. When I was a child, there were probably 20, 25 people here running feedlots, slaughtering cattle, Lexington, Louisville, Danville, different places around here. And National Cattlemen's has looked after their people trying to get the outlets. It doesn't do any good to have a product if you can't slaughter it. On any given day back when the pandemic started, they were just taking hogs out and could not get them to the processing plant.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're a little guy, when you're, you may not have 100 head, you've got 20 head, but
Yes.
you're kind of puddling along. Well, now suddenly you've got to travel 3 or 4 hours to take one or two.
Yes.
That the cost just does not equal out for you, and at that point you're upside down.
Right. Yeah.
And the Cattleman was blessed this year also, even through this pandemic. We've still met our scholarship obligations. Of course, the cookings that you see, the grills around in the community doing cooking, those are all funds go to scholarships.
Wow.
And we was able to meet those
Yeah, when you see the cattleman cooker smoking somewhere, it's not somebody behind that cooker that's putting money in their pocket for what they're doing, like private business is. That money all goes back, my understanding, goes back to the scholarship, which goes back to the youth, which goes back to trying to increase the agricultural base here through the young people.
Well,
Keep the kids at home.
I always tell Shane, I say, if you tell me the cattlemen are cooking, I'm thinking that's probably a pretty good, that's kind of, you probably know how to cook it if you know how to grow it. I'm just saying. Hey, Magistrate Jeff Boone, we appreciate you for being here this
Tess,
morning.
appreciate you, appreciate all Beth Mann and the staff here does for the community, not just Extension, but we could go to a lot of communities and find right quick that the local radio stations, we'd love to have you. It's so many dollars for you to be here for so many minutes, and that's not been the case here. And appreciate that. We
couldn't do it if the people didn't come in. And I will say the Extension office sitting right there, they come in every Wednesday and keep us updated, and Shane and all the ladies out there as well. He's got a great, that whole office is fantastic.
Great group of
There's
people.
a wealth of knowledge in the Extension office. There's a wealth of knowledge at the Experiment Farm, and producers here don't use it near as much. When I went to Webster County, spent 5 years over there, on any given week I was bringing stuff back and forth here. The Extension office is probably one of the greatest assets we've got in the county that's the most overlooked, as well as the Extension of the Experiment Farm.
Anything from homemakers and book clubs to exercise and kids and getting them to read to cattlemen and what's going on in the fields. Mm-hmm. So I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Shane, give us a phone number out there.
Call Jeff with any questions, but you also call the Extension office as well, 270-365-2787. And we take some of the pressure off of him. He takes some of the pressure off me answering those questions. So
I thought I put the pressure on you.
Put it on him, Jeff Boone. Hey, give us your phone number once again.
270-963-0200. If by chance I don't get your call, please leave a voicemail, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But generally, I've got my phone on me with me. Might not have my billfold, might not have any money with me, but I've got my phone. That's the way we live anymore. We're a connected world.
Whether you're a cattleman yourself or you've got a youth that's something they want to do, these incentive programs, don't miss out on those. Give them a call and check it out. Hey, stick around. Coffee Talk's still going next.
Fall is the beginning of flu season. Protect yourself with a flu vaccine at Health First Community Health Center. It's your best shot at stopping the flu from getting to you. With same-day appointments and walk-ins welcome, they make it easy to arm yourself against infection. Contact the Health First Community Health Center office toll-free at 1-877-667-7017 or visit one of their 7 locations for all your health needs. At Health First, your health is their first concern. That's Health First Community Health Center.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Line County friends. We invite you to come to Cadiz anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cadiz or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cadiz.
Out of an abundance of caution and in your best interest, public access to the Princeton Electric Plant Board office is restricted. Normal business operations will continue utilizing the drive-through window. Bill payments using online methods, bank drafts, and credit cards are encouraged, but checks and cash will continue to be accepted methods of payment. Utilizing the free online payment system from the comfort of your own home is both safer and more efficient for you. You will only need your account number, which is located on your bill, and a credit card or debit card to use this convenient feature. In an effort to help our community and assist our neighbors during this time of uncertainty, Princeton Electric Plant Board invites customers to call the office if they need additional time to pay their electric bill due to the loss of work. We appreciate our customers and look forward to working through this together.
Enter to win one $1,000 gift card from Herb Hayes Furniture Cozy Comfort Giveaway. Head over to WPKYOnline.com today. Winner announced November 24th.
The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store would like to give everyone special savings on this special day. Thank you from all of us to those who have served on this Veterans Day. Save 50% off retail on all our big deals. No code needed. You will see the discount in your card at checkout. These gift certificates also make great gifts. Save 50% off retail today only. Don't forget to remember and honor our veterans today.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYOnline.com.
1580 103.3 WPKY. And of course, again, we want to thank Magistrate Jeff Boone and Shane Bogel from the Caldwell County Extension Office. Of course, Magistrate Jeff Boone was wearing the Cattlemen's hat this morning, and we appreciate that of him very much for trying to make all of this make sense. I'll tell you, when you get into some of these incentive programs, it can really seem daunting, but they're really making, not only bringing it for the youth this year, which I'm so excited about, but making it kind of make sense and helping us fill out all that paperwork. So don't leave the dollars on the table. Don't leave them flying around the backyard. Go out and get them so that you can absolutely make those work for you. Hey, you know what? Speaking of working for you, I saw a picture yesterday of a gorgeous couple, and it seems the Haverlocks went over and got Miss Pam a new ride over at Trice Hughes. Got a new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Absolutely gorgeous. If you're in the market for something that is, I talked to Pam the other day, and we had talked about maybe, a kind of vehicle that'd be good for winter and maybe in those cold temperatures, maybe a little snow and ice, stuff that we can get around here during the winter. We're just now starting to get into it. And that's one of the things that we were bringing up is four-wheel drive capability, but it's still being really comfortable at the same time. Well, that's exactly what that sales department over at Trice Hughes can help you find. If you don't want to leave your house, here's the website is tricehughesgm.com. Now, they'll show you everything that's on the lot. They'll tell you all about it, the details of it, all the bells and whistles and all the automatic everything that is on that particular vehicle. Plus, they can tell you what kind of colors they've got on the lot of that type of vehicle. Trucks, that's one thing we always think about. How about trucks with the bells and whistles where the seats heat up when you're jumping in from being in the tree stand, or you've been out in the field working and fixing those fences that we were just talking about with Shane Bogel and Jeff Boone. You know, that's one of those nice heat-up features that feels awfully good on a cold winter day when you've been out working. And it's also one of those things you can grab those trucks and drive it out into a field to go work with. And it's the same beautiful truck that you can drive the kids in with that back seat and go to church or go to school functions all in the same vehicle. It's not your grandpa's truck anymore. It doesn't have to just be a work truck. It can be for fun and to look good too while you're going. So if you've got any questions for them, the sales department is amazing over at Trice Hughes. They're not high pressure. It's kind of like looking for a vehicle with a buddy. So it's actually a really pleasant experience. You don't have to dread it. 365-5522. Hey, you know what? If you have a collision with Bambi, the body shop is there for you. Of course, I know with deer season right now and rut, they're out in abundance and seemingly just all over the map, and none of the patterns make sense. Well, the body shop is there for you as well as a service and parts department. And did I mention that all those little accessories like the automatic starts, and maybe you need some steps on your ride. Maybe you just need to put a few little slick accessories on there. Well, they can do that too. Give them a call, 365-5522. It's TriceHughesGM.com. It's right on Highway 91 North, just right across from Casey's. And I'll tell you, I'm staring at the parking lot of Trice Hughes from here. Trice Hughes wants your business, so give Trice a try.
The Thanksgiving table isn't complete without the turkey. This year, leave that detail to Noth's Barbecue. You can choose from smoked turkey, ham, or a whole pork shoulder. Their meat is cooked over hickory coals, low and slow, the old-time traditional way. Call to order no later than November 18th and pick up hot and ready the 25th or 26th, 10 to noon at Noth's Barbecue in Grand Rivers. Happy Thanksgiving from Noth's. Join the Cat's Tail Used Books, Fredonia Valley Bank, Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique, and Farless Realty as they say thank you to the brave men and women who have served this great country. We all salute and say thank you to our veterans.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. 20% chance of showers. Got some clouds in the area. Those are going to stick around till at least early afternoon. The temperature's actually going to drop a degree or two. That's the odd part of today. High is actually lower than what it is now. High of 54. Veterans Day night looks like tonight's low going to all the way down to 36. So we're getting awfully close to freezing. Tomorrow's sunshine at 60 is going to return, and then on Friday, mid-50s anyway, but plenty of sunshine. A little bit cooler for the end of the week, but got plenty of sunshine, so that's good. We got clouds and 55 at 8:57, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Planters Bank, located at 208 North Jefferson Street, is locally owned and operated with a strong, sincere focus on customer service. Planters Bank has a diverse team of seasoned professionals in Western Kentucky and Clarksville, Tennessee. Since first opening their doors, Planters Bank has made a name for itself as an energetic player in the financial services market. Stop by and talk to the friendly folks at Planters and find out about the You Choose Rewards program. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Kelly Martin of Pennyroyal Hospice, and we are proud to be a part of the greatest comeback of all time.
Right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
Hey, it's Tess. Join WPKY at Food Giant this Thursday